This plant is in fact a tree. And if you look at it, you'll see it's quite a tall tree. It's not gigantic, but it's big enough. And this is in fact the cause of most people's hay fever. And I knew myself it was coming into bloom because I started to get the symptoms. This is the elder. And the elder was a sacred tree in Ireland to the Druids. Among there were a number of sacred trees like the rowan, mistletoe of course, which lives up in oak trees, so it's a parasitic plant, hawthorn, and of course blackthorn, all sacred. But elder is an amazing plant. The pollen will actually boost your immune system. It will give you terrible hay fever, that's for sure, because if I just brush my hand off it here, you'll see, look at it, it's like dust, yellow dust. That's what's causing your, see that on my fingers there, yellow dust? That's the pollen. And on the elder, it actually, look at it, falls off. Falls like rain. And when you start inhaling that, it starts to make you sneeze. It's a lovely plant though, it can grow in the weirdest places. You wouldn't even realise the tree was there. Very soft, springy bark. It's a beautiful tree though. Makes a wonderful bonsai as well if you wanted to make a bonsai out of a tree. So, but this one is the one that causes, it starts off the end of May every year, or in early June it starts to bloom, or blossom rather. If you see, the flowers are tiny. And these ones haven't opened yet. These ones are open and they're absolutely covered in pollen. But the bees love them. But when they start to open, everybody inhales the dust, which is very small and gets onto the wind. It can cause your glands to swell. In most cases it gives people sort of a sinusitis, and I'm one of those people. So I've had a bout, so I knew the flowers were opening. I actually knew when I saw the flowers that when they open I'm going to start getting sinusitis for a few days. But then what happens is your immune system calms down and it actually gets strengthened. So bugs and all generally tend to disappear when there's a good year for elder. And the flowers can be actually collected, and the pollen, and they have a lot of nectar in them as well. Sweet smell. And they're used to make wine, and that's the elder flower wine, but also the elder berries, which the flowers turn into, of course, in the autumn. Not only feed lots of birds, but people can eat them. There's a bit of a debate over whether or not they can be toxic, but I've noticed when birds eat them, they remove the berry from outside of the seed, and I think it's the seed is what causes the poisoning, or say not necessarily poisoning, but a bit of sickness in people. So, well, we'll have a look at that in the autumn, because there's sure to be an awful lot of berries this year. But these are the beautiful hay fever causing flowers. I wasn't going to say migraine, but they probably do cause migraine in some people, but they are beautiful.